Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and demonstrate the turns. Turns are very easy to do, but most people like to use the autopilot to keep the aircraft at its proper altitude. But during your training you will not be using the autopilot unless your instructor says you can do. So what we're going to do, we're going to demonstrate a couple of turns. Before we do that though, we're just going to go over the heading bug. Heading bug is this little section here, and the button for it is here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it to east, which is a heading of 090 degrees, and make a right turn using a 10-degree bank turn to demonstrate to you what it will look like, maintaining 2,000 feet. So here we go. Okay, we're at 10 degrees now. Remember to use your trim to help stabilize the aircraft and keep yourself in level flight. As you can see, the radius of turn is very shallow and will take some time to get to the particular heading that you are wanting to go to, or if ATC asks you to go to. Okay, we're going to level out from our turn now. And when the aircraft starts to level out, it's going to want to climb, so add a bit of trim down to make sure you don't go too high up, and so you can keep control of the aircraft. So there you go, that's just a small demonstration for the Cessna 172 student pilot training program for the 10-degree turn. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is do a 20-degree bank turn to the left to a heading of 330 degrees. So we're going to set the heading bug to go to a heading of 330 degrees. There we go. Most pilots use the heading bug and change it before they do their turn, just so you can remember where you've got to go to. So let's go ahead and do this 20-degree bank turn. A tip for when you are using your trim. If you are doing trim up, always do one trim down. This will help stabilize the aircraft, and so you don't make too many mistakes using the trim. So as you can see, we are now in a 20-degree bank turn, and we're turning nice and smoothly. Okay, we're going to roll out now. As you noticed, or may have noticed during the turn, our airspeed and altitude changed when we came to roll out of the turn. This is because there is now more pressure on the wings to keep the aircraft up, and it's going to make it want to climb. And now, as you can see, we've got a nice little airport to the left hand side there. So what we're going to do now is going to make a small heading correction to a heading of 270 degrees, and we should be able to fly over Princess Juliet International Airport. For me to do this, because we're so close to the particular heading, I'm only going to do a 10-degree bank turn. And that your trim will help you every time you go to do a flight, or every time you go to do a lesson with your trainer. A little bit of turbulence there. Okay, as soon as we get over these mountains, we're going to go ahead and do the last set of turn, which is a 30-degree bank turn. and then we're going to talk about the trim just a little bit more, and then that will be the end of this short tutorial. Okay, I'm going to turn the aircraft to a heading of 240 degrees to fly directly over Princess Juliet International Airport. I'm going to do this by using a 10-degree bank turn, and the airport will then be at our 12 o'clock position. Over time, with practice, you will be able to master using the trim and flying the aircraft without the autopilot, which is a great achievement for new timers and people that have been doing it for years and haven't mastered the art of flying without the autopilot. Okay, so we've got Princess Juliet International Airport at roughly 12 o'clock here. So in about 30 seconds we're going to start talking about 30-degree bank turn. So what I'm going to do for you here now is turn the heading bug to the heading that we're going to use for the 30-degree bank turn. So we're going to go to a heading of 090 degrees using a 30-degree bank turn to the right. Okay, in Flight Sim and real world, it's always a good idea to check to see if there's any other aircraft that are close to you before doing the turn, and as we are going to be flying over an airport, it's a really good idea to do that. So just look left and look right before making the turn. Okay, doesn't seem to be any aircraft, and we're going to slightly drop in our altitude down to 2,700 feet. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate a 30-degree bank turn for you now, to the right. So once again, slowly turn the joystick to the right or your yoke to the right. Add trim or back pressure to your joystick or flight yoke to maintain altitude. In the 30-degree bank turn, your aircraft is going to want to descend. There's not enough lift over the wings to maintain the altitude, and it can be quite difficult sometimes depending on the weight of the aircraft. When rolling out, roll out 30 degrees before you reach your heading. So I'm going to roll out now. The aircraft is going to want to climb considerably, so forward pressure and use the trim to stabilise the aircraft. So there you go, there's another 30-degree bank turn there, and we're still at 1,700 feet on a heading of 090. So that's all for this short video now, and if you have any questions you can contact your trainer by emailing them or contacting them by other means if they've given you other ways of contacting them. Please reference yourself to the information on the website for this section of your training, and good luck.